Hello everyone. So how's the event going? My name is Yasir Khan. I'm the CTO of CONNECT2ME. It's a game-changing IoT connector application. It's a middleware which enables you to connect to any devices and APIs dynamically without writing a piece of code. So today we will be providing a demo where we will be demonstrating the value of the CONNECT2ME connector layer. So in traditional IoT implementations, you have IoT platform, mobile apps, IoT desktop apps being created which are interacting with numerous type of devices and APIs with various protocols. And the challenge is that you always have to build these hard links to each of these device adapters or APIs, and they are constantly ever evolving. The other challenge is related to the constant availability of the connectivity, the security of it, the constant data flow between the devices and your platform. So what we have done is we have created this middleware which can enable you to dynamically talk to all these disparate devices, whether they are from fleet management or smart home automation or manufacturing or industrial automation. And then we are exposing a REST API, and that REST API becomes a single point of interaction between your platform application and all these devices. And we manage the complexity of the connectivity, the authentication, the activation, and the data management. We support almost all the protocols which are available right now in the IoT M2M space. In addition to that, we can also onboard any REST or SOAP API to kind of transact through our middleware layer. So the real value is that when you're building these applications, the application can focus on the business logic, the business layer, while the complexity of the connectivity, the data management, the ever-evolving ecosystem can be managed by CONNECT2ME. So today we are going to demonstrate that by using a use case, and then the use case is going to be pretty much kind of using 3 layers of our technology. So the first one is related to connectivity, which is basically talking to sensors, devices, and APIs in real time. And then we have a visualization engine. So this visualization engine can basically give face to the data which is being captured through the environment, your IoT environment, your M2M environment, your enterprise application environment. Now, each of these layers are agnostic to the other one. So if you want to use a layer which might be different, like for example, if you want to use a Cognos layer or a SAP layer, you can use that for visualization. Beyond the visualization, we are also demonstrating a workflow engine which enables the operationalization of the use case. So you capture the data, you visualize it, you make it actionable, and then based on the events happening, workflows are triggered. And those workflows can be completely end-to-end tracked in terms of what happens within a workflow. So for this example, we are going to demonstrate a property management company which has properties across US. And they have an operational center remotely located where a facility manager is sitting and monitoring events happening in these smart buildings, both inside the building as well as outside the building. So in this use case, we have live tracking going on from a boiler room, which has the HVAC, the furnace, and we are tracking for events like water leak, smoke, fire, humidity level, temperature. So through this, we're kind of demonstrating what happens in the case of an event and how the whole life cycle is tracked around that. In addition to that, we have sensors which are tracking the water management in the green area outside. And that mashes up with weather API to kind of enable the most optimal use of water in these facilities. So to demonstrate the capabilities of our C2M or CONNECT2ME layer, we have a variety of sensors and devices and APIs we are interacting with. And this is just a one use case where we used a sample set of sensors. And these sensors are provided by well-known manufacturers and some new brands which are coming in the marketplace. So for example, we are using a Z-Wave SmartThings flood sensor. We're combining that with Nest thermostat and smoke alarm. We're using Libelium's agriculture sensor kit. We're also combining that with Forecast.io weather API. We're using Google Maps API. We're using a OBD2, which is feeding vehicle data in real time using Zergo. We're also using a sensor tag, which is feeding temperature, humidity, and barometric pressure. That's made by TI. So as you can see, all these sensors and devices have variety of protocols. So from Z-Wave to Zigbee to 3G, BLE, they have various protocol stack. Above that, what we're doing is through our visualization engine, we are creating a view, which is a view of all the properties which are being managed. And a facility manager at one point can see every activity which is going within a property and the events happening. Based on a particular event happening, they can drill down into a particular location and then they can see what is happening inside or outside the building. And then beyond that, we are going to demonstrate that based on an event happening like a water leak, it will trigger a service ticket, and the service ticket is going to be then tracked through the life cycle of the ticket, where a dispatch truck is sent to the particular location, and that location then gets serviced and the ticket is closed, and it's the whole life cycle from monitoring to event to service is tracked through this use case. And all this is done through no-code interfaces. So C2M interface connection is all code-free. The visualization is all code-free. The service ticket is based on a BPM workflow engine, very much like the previous presenter, what they were presenting in terms of capabilities. But it can be extended through programming interfaces or providing, other extensions by writing additional code. So at this point, I'm going to turn it over to Ryan Roberts. He's our senior account manager, and he's going to walk us through the actual demonstration.
Okay, so what we have here is a view that a property manager would see, or a facilities manager at a remote location. So you can see all of his properties listed on the Google map here. And right below we have events happening. So for example, you can see that at a specific location there's a potential HVAC problem or there's a water leak. So beyond that, you can click on that and you can drill into that location. So what you see here is we are actually seeing the data feeding in for a specific location. In this case, it's the Cosmopolitan of Las Vegas. So we've got data pulling in here from room temperature, thermostat setting, barometric pressure, humidity from the different devices which we're connecting to. As you can see, one of my colleagues here from an IP camera is simulating a water leak. So he's dropping a sensor into the water. And what's going to happen is a couple things. One, it's going to make an API call to a Philips Hue bulb. It's going to flip the bulb to red. Secondarily, it's going to create a visual indicator that there's a leak, so this icon will change. It's going to send out an SMS message to the property manager, and it's also going to make an API call and open a service ticket, so basically the full life cycle. So you can see here the bulb has turned red. You can see down here the leak is going to switch into true here in just a second. And we can see all of the events here tracked. Okay, there you go. The leak is now true. And we have the visual indicator here. So we've got some of this data is coming from the Nest devices, some of it's coming from the sensor tag BLE device from TI, and it's all plotted here through a drag and drop interface. And then down below we also have another dashboard here for the outside property, and in this case we have information coming for sprinkler heads. We've got a few agriculture devices which are feeding in air stats, soil stats, sunlight, plant stats, that type of thing. And then based on certain behaviors and thresholds which are defined, we can have sprinklers turn on and turn off. If it's going to be raining outside, you can have the sprinklers turn off so you're not watering your property whenever it's raining outside. So based on the events which were defined here, you can see that we actually opened up a ticket here for this property manager. We can drill into that, and we can basically go through the full life cycle for assigning a service provider who is in the area, all the way through to dispatching the driver, tracking the driver using the Xergo OBD2 reader, and closing the ticket. Basically, the full life cycle of the process. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch over to the platform. So this is a CONNECT2ME platform. So as Yasser was mentioning, basically we are a dynamic device adapter layer. So we sit in between the smart and connected devices and an IoT or MDM application. We have a way of dynamically connecting to any connected device regardless of the protocol, and we have a way of sniffing out the device schema and pulling that into our platform. So what we do is we take the data from the different device manufacturers and the different devices. We can standardize and normalize the data which is coming in, and we produce a REST API for the organizations to build out their applications on top of. So in this case, this is a smart agriculture device which we have set up over at our booth. It's booth 217, and it's feeding in live data for this device. So you can see soil moisture, soil temperature, leaf wetness, etc., and the live data is feeding in here. So what's been done is the device has been onboarded onto the platform. It's been authenticated using the unique identifier specific to that device, and then instantly the device starts feeding data in. So you can see the UI here, and you can see the data coming in. We can switch over here, and we can see the device schema, which is published from the device. We can preview the data. And the real beauty is here, we publish out this REST API where you can see all the data coming from the devices. So in a traditional IoT application, what you're having to do is build out these connections to the different devices in the IoT application itself. So let's say you have a facilities management application like we're just demonstrating. You would traditionally have to go in and build out all of the connectors to those different device manufacturers one by one. It's time consuming, it costs a lot of money, extends out the project. So in this case, we're actually handling that and removing that headache for you. So we actually sit directly above the devices. We're handling the connectivity, the authentication, the data management, and the security. And we're providing the single REST API for the organization to build on top of. So I'm just going to demonstrate a couple other different devices which are feeding in data. This one is the Xergo device, which is the OBD2 reader for the vehicle. Here we go. Okay. Just going to switch to a map viewer. And these are the different parameters published out by this device. Okay. So you can see the different data points for this device. So this driver is driving around to the service location. Okay. So I'm going to switch gears and switch in and show you how the dashboards are set up for the visualization component. So let's take a look at this dashboard right here, which we were just demonstrating. I'm going to go into the edit mode. Okay, so you can see over here on the left-hand side, we've got all of the widgets. So we've got different controls like date picker, forms, that type of thing. And we also have the charts, which are actually plotting the data here. And it's a drag and drop interface. So let's look at, I'll kind of show you how easily this is done. So I'm going to go to a chart. Let me go to real-time line chart. So I drag it over here onto the screen. I can modify the appearance, how we want it to look, the colors, the font, that type of thing. And then I can bind the data. So the data coming from the CONNECT2ME platform. Go. And I'm just going to publish out that air temperature from that agriculture device, which is over at our booth. And you can see the data starts feeding in live. Beyond that, I can write events on top of this. So some of the events which are happening, like the visual indicators, the SMS sending out API calls, we can write those events. So I'm going to go over to the event. So here's a couple of events which I've created. For example, that leak detected, the sensor was dropped into the water. We can define the condition. We can define what fires it out. And for example, in this case, the leak equals true, and it causes a couple different actions: an SMS, an alert, and a dashboard notification. SMS, we can send it out either to the specific individual, like a property manager, or we can bring in a list of specific users based on their role type. Okay. Anything else?
So at this point, any questions for us? If you guys need any more information on this product, we are at booth 217. We'll be happy to have a one-on-one conversation and share more information on this. Thank you for your time.